From the combined crew of blindandroidusers.com and accessibleandroid.com, it's time for your favorite Android podcast. Kick back now and enjoy another fine episode from these fanboys and gals as they navigate Android from a blindness perspective. And now, here's your crew.
Hello and welcome to episode 270 of the Blind Android Users Podcast. I'm Ed Green and I'm joined by my co-hosts Warren Carr, John Dyer and Karine Kewan, who will be with us a little bit later. And we are coming to you on Saturday, February the 7th, 2026. This week we have one main segment, and that is a spotlight segment where we interview Xing Huan, the developer of the reading app Readest, a cross-platform option for you all to take a look at. How are we, boys? John, how's life in Virginia?
It's going pretty good. It was a weird week with snow days and school delays and that sort of thing. And I'm feeling sick again, but it's nothing like last time, so I'm grateful for that. But yeah, pretty decent week. What about you?
It's been a good week. It's been very wet here, very, very wet. So my favourite bar is on my way home from the station. So as I'm sure my wife and daughter wouldn't have wanted me to melt or corrode in the rain, sometimes I had to stop there on the way home because of beer in the hope that the rain would ease off. But yeah, busy-ish week. Will you be watching the Super Bowl tomorrow?
Yeah, I will.
With wings, or what's your Super Bowl snack of choice?
Wow, wings is always my snack of choice. So yeah, I'll go with that.
I actually had wings yesterday in the bar that I was just talking about. I had Frank's red hot plus sort of garlic and herb sauce on them. They're very nice. They do a kilo of wings in that bar. Warren, how are you?
I'm doing okay. This week has been rather very interesting. First, though, last Sunday, one of our cats went out and we're still searching for the little guy. So I'm not a cat guy. This is a cat that we got like last year. He was a very little guy, and my daughter was basically devastated because it's her cat, and both of the cats are hers. But in as much as I don't like cats, I love this guy. He's such a lovable guy, and even I'm feeling a little bit kind of sad about it, all sentimental and sad. And so we kind of went around posting little pieces of paper, with his picture on, light poles and telephone poles and on, mailboxes and things like that, hoping that someone would let us know when they come across him. But it seems, though, that maybe someone has just decided to keep that cat because he's such a nice cat. And the bad news is that we didn't have any collar on him. So someone finds him, oh, yeah, there's a kitty, and he's really nice. He'll come to you. So that's what's going on. And then, like John says he's not feeling too good this week. John, I hope you feel better soon. I myself had a root canal yesterday, so I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to come on. I had to have that root canal on my tooth that started bothering me back in the fall of 2023 and just never had the time or never paid attention to do it because it's not something that kept happening now and then, Ed. But then I decided to finally go see the dentist 3 weeks ago, and I got a referral, and I went and had that root canal done. And now I'll go back to the original dentist in like 2 or so weeks to have the crown on. So I may be taking that crown from you, and I'll become the Duke of Earl.
I told you we'll be invading on the semi-quincentennial on July the 4th. So I'll be coming over then with the Union Jack on a pole and I'll plant it in somewhere in DC. Do you have like an Independence Square? What's the big like 4th of July place in DC, John?
I have no idea.
There must be one. Oh well. And yeah, well, I'm very sad to hear about the cat. All I'll say is, have you checked your desk? Because we know that things disappear and end up on your desk.
Ed.
I do hope your cat comes back, especially for your poor daughter. They get very attached to.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm not like a cat person, but I really like this guy. You know, he comes and sleeps on our bed, and he's very nice. He's never scratched anyone for that matter. And he's such a nice little guy. He grew up with us. He was just a baby when they brought him in. I'm like, oh, he looks like a rat. And now he became such a big boy. And I keep having dreams about him. Even last night, I dreamt that I saw him again. And so we haven't lost hope yet because Julia posted on our local little town website here, and someone thought they saw him where the square dance takes place, and but we looked at it, wasn't there. And then the Humane Society, which is like about half an hour or thereabouts from here, saw it, and they said, hey, they thought they have it because someone dropped a cat that just got neutered, but it's not him. It looks like him, but he wasn't neutered. So we're kind of looking forward to more tips coming in. Hopefully we'll find that lost guy. I'm looking forward to finding the little guy. I haven't lost hope yet. So, but yeah, Ed, you want to bring a flotilla on? We'll have the French stop you before you even get out of the British Isles or whatever those things are called.
French have got no chance, literally no chance.
Well, they stopped you.
You didn't tell us the cat wasn't neutered. I reckon he's having the time of his life with some lady cats, isn't he?
That's what I was about to say. He's
yeah.
You'll never see him again.
Yeah.
Oh boy, what can I say?
Living the life of Riley.
Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews with developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this week's episode, here's your Spotlight.
And we turn to our Spotlight section now, and I'm delighted to say that we're joined by Xin developer of the app Readest. Welcome, Xin. Lovely to have you with us.
Hi, hello everyone. Thanks so much for having me on this. I really appreciate the invitation. My name is Xin, and I'm the developer of Readest. I've been working on reading software for quite a long time. And Readest is actually the second reading app I've built. Today I'm happy to talk about Readest, also about why I built it and why inclusion and accessibility are so important to Readest. Before Readest, the first reading app I worked on was called Creator. Someone we may know about that app. It was about 10 years ago. Creator mostly runs on e-ink devices like Kindle and similar reader hardware. Back then, and honestly, even now, a lot of e-ink devices don't have great accessibility support. It's not in the hardware and not in the system. As a developer, this can feel pretty limiting. You may want to support screen readers or better navigation, but if the platform itself does not support it, there's a real limit to what you can actually do. So over time, I start to realize something. If the platform itself is not inclusive, the app can't really fix the problem.
Now,
Yeah.
wait, Shane. So this is really interesting. I think I have that app, and all this time I was calling it K-Reader, right? So it's Kreader. I have that app. I had no clue that that app was coming from you. And as you indicated, it's a little bit problematic. I still have that K-Reader or Critter. And so I'm really surprised you kind of blew my world away that I've been using your app or had your app in my library and never knew that it's coming from the same developer because I didn't even pay attention as to who it's coming from. So I'm really thankful to have you on here. And as you talked about the history and all of that, I like history stuff. And so why did you decide to build Readest? And first, though, let's talk about the, was there any specialty, something special about the name chosen? In other words, you got Readest, Readest. So does that mean anything, or is that like an abbreviation, or it's just, as it is, sometimes you run out of title and just call it Readest? What's the story behind that chosen name? And then tell us as to why you decide to focus on that instead of the K-Reader.
Yeah, actually, Readest is a real word in English, but it's only used in early modern English, like 17th century, but it's not used in modern English.
That's why I don't know it.
Yeah.
Ed, being the Duke of Earl, have you any idea about Readest?
It is not. No, it is. I did not know that it was a sort of early modern English word at all. It's not one I'm familiar with.
At the first sight, I thought it was a German word, but actually it's an English word. Yeah.
Wow. So let's talk about the reason why you decided to focus on that instead of the K-Reader or Critter.
Yeah, Reader should have nothing support of accessibility, as it runs on e-ink devices, and there you can't make it speak the Barton label, or it cannot speak out the text you are reading. So how did you use the app?
Yeah, because when I saw it, I think what drew me to it was the fact that it worked with the Kindle, right? So I was excited about Kindle because the Kindle app that we have on Android, for example, used to work very well, and now it doesn't work as good as it used to. And that was my excitement about the K-Reader Critter. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm going to be using this because it, says, reads Kindle books and other ink devices. And since I had the Kindle, app, I thought I could just be able to read my Kindle books with it. And so that's how I came about installing that app on my phone.
Actually, the Kindle device actually has limited accessibility support, and the Reader, the last reading app I built, also had the limitation. And over time, I started to realize that. So that's one of the main reasons I started a Readest project. So with Readest, inclusion or not the afterthought, it was the starting point. I want to build a reading app where accessibility is the first priority, and the user experience feels consistent across different devices and different platforms. Like you can continue reading on your desktop devices and then on your mobile phones and even on Kindle devices. This is what I plan to implement. I also want to share a small story that really shaped this project. I'm originally from China. About 2 years ago, I traveled to Germany for the first time. And one day after a long hike, I ended up right in the front of the Potsdam public library. I was a bit tired, but curious. So I thought, why not go in and take a look? You know, in China, especially after COVID, going into a public library usually means a lot of steps. You need security checks, ID checks, and sometimes registration, things like that. But in Potsdam, something very different happened. I just walked in and no one stopped me. No one asked me who I was. And there are no form, no barriers. I still remember what I was thinking. That feels really unbelievable. For me, living in China for my life, yeah. And later on, I noticed that this was not just one library. Almost every library I visited in Germany felt open in the same way. Actually, that experience really stayed with me, and it made me think that real inclusion is very important. It's not just about technology or culture. It's about values.
About humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, in general. So I see that kind of gave you that inspiration. It sounds to me like you're someone who really likes to read, and hence the reason why you go to these libraries. You're always drawn to the library. And I think that totally makes sense to me, that you would want to give people an access to books, since it seems like you're a lover of books and someone who loves to read. It does make sense then to be able to give people an access, like you said, when you were in Germany, there in Potsdam, and you were walking into the library and you thought that maybe you were going to go through steps of filling out this form, filling out that, but you are given access without questions. And so to me, that makes sense that you carry that with you, and now you're trying to apply the same method to the e-reading process, and that's where all this inclusion would come in, especially for those of us who have accessibility needs. It makes it very important thus that we have that inclusion. So I am really thankful that you have that inspiration from that trip, and that has been an inspiration that would now change how you build your apps and how you improve what is already on the ground, especially about the one that we're talking about today.
Yeah, exactly. And after that, I thought books and reading should be open to everyone, and it should not matter how much money you have, and where you're from, and what language you speak, or what abilities you have. During that time, that trip in Germany, I started working on Readest. The very first lines of code were written in Berlin State Library. And I wasn't trying to build another fancy app. I just wanted to bring that feeling, the openness I felt in those libraries into a digital reading experience. And that idea actually became the heart of Readest. And today, Readest is an open reading platform. The idea is pretty simple. You can read anywhere, at any time, on any device with Readest. Your reading progress syncs across devices. So you can read on your phone, then switch to your laptop and just keep going. And you can choose how you want to read. You can read visually as text, and you can also listen using text to speech. You can even use AI translation to read books written in other languages in your own language. Actually, we estimate more than half of the global population can read almost any book in their native language in Readest. You can translate with our AI services from almost all languages to your native language. I think it's very important for some people, and it's also a kind of accessibility, I think, for people speaking in other languages. Actually, all of this is designed with one goal in mind. That's making reading more inclusive. And there is no paywall blocking core features. And your reading data is saved locally. And you can back up with your reading data with any software and restore them any later. And yeah.
Shane, that is, before you continue,
Mm-hmm.
in my demonstration, I didn't demonstrate the syncing process. So if you could take a little time and tell people or tell us how one goes about syncing that thing to, let's say, signing, creating how's the process? Because I didn't download the app for, say, the computer. How do I go about help our people know how to go about doing it? Because some of our people would read or would rather want to read on their computer as well. And I think I would also be interested in wanting to read on my computer now and then. For example, let's say I'm lying down in bed and I got my headset plugged into my computer. I want to be able to read my book direct from my computer. So if you could tell us that process, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. Actually, it's a very simple process. It's like the Kindle app, but it's there's also some different aspects. The process is almost identical on any devices that run Readest. In the main menu, when you open the Readest app, on the top right, there's the button, the settings menu, and the first button on the very top of the drop-down menu, there is the sign in button. After you sign in with your email address on each of your device, and then the book, any book you import on that device will automatically be synced to other devices. So now we can sync the reading progress, the book file itself, and the annotations you make in that book when you are reading. All this data are synced automatically. So you actually just need to log in, and the rest part is done automatically in Readest.
So in other words, once you have them synced or you have signed into whatever device you want to use, I could browse and upload books. So let's say I have signed into it directly from my computer. I could upload books from my computer to Readest. And of course, then it will show across the devices. Let's say I go back to my phone and that book that I've uploaded will show up in that device, right? Now, is there a Windows app? Because I wasn't paying attention. And if there's a Windows app, how does one get that Windows app?
You can download the app from our GitHub release page or from the readest.com website. Both pages are okay. And the app can upload or update itself when there is new versions, just in-app update. So you don't need to download it again. It will automatically check any new versions and pop up a window for you to update it. Yeah.
I've got one, Sheen, if I could. What file formats does Readest support?
Currently, the EPUB format is supported the best, and we also support PDF format, but PDF format is still in experimental support. You can open the file, you can set the zoom level and the panning in the page in PDF, but you still cannot annotate or text-to-speech on PDFs. But we are working on these features, PDFs. I expect it will be supported in this month or next month. But in EPUB or MOBI or FB2 formats, the basic reading functions are settled. Yeah.
Great. And sorry, I do have one more actually. You mentioned AI translation. What services do you use for the AI?
We have integrated the DeepL service and the Google Translator, and the Azure translator from Microsoft, and the Yandex translator, and many more services like OpenAI translator will be supported in upcoming updates.
I have a question. First of all, I want to say thank you for coming. It's great to mention accessibility and to be having the will to improve the app's accessibility. But to be honest, there are still some accessibility caveats. There are still issues in the app itself, in the UI, in how it interacts with the screen reader. So for me as a blind user, I'm always searching for the best experience, reading experience, to have like an uninterrupted reading and to have all of the menus accessible to me and all of the functions. Yeah, the app has descriptions for buttons, for stuff, but actually having everything available like this sometimes doesn't help. There are some issues. So if we want to like discuss those issues, are you willing to try to correct them, to just, for example, to help in making the UI more screen reader friendly? I know you did a good job actually. Yesterday, for example, you had an update that fixed the issue of the inability to activate the menus using the screen readers. Also, it wasn't possible to use swiping to move between items. This is now fixed. But actually, to be very honest, and I think others also have tried the app and they are able also to echo my words here. So there are still issues. So are you really willing to go far with us to just try to make this app one of the most accessible reader apps?
Yeah, sure. And actually, the accessibility support is not perfect yet, but it's really a long-term commitment for us. And I really appreciate the Discord messages from the community. You really help a lot. But you know, some use cases may not be covered in our test process. And although we have a lot of developer contributing to this project, I the mostly the accessibility support needs a lot of testing in real use cases. Yeah, that actually indeed takes time, but we are actively fixing things and improving them. Yeah.
All right, that's great. Thank you. And actually, I'm not going personally to discuss any of the issues here in the podcast, but if we want to, what's the best way to reach you with the accessibility concerns? Is it through email?
Email is okay, and you can also reach me in Discord. You can find the Discord link in our GitHub front page. So you can report the issues we encountered.
That's good. Actually, I have just one more question, which is not related to accessibility. It's related to the voices that the Speak feature use, which is the playback of the book. So if the user doesn't want to use the screen reader, and if a sighted user doesn't want to use the site, they can use just the Speak feature. What are the voices? I mean, what's the service that you're using, the voice provider? I mean, and is it possible to change if the user wants to change the voice? And does the voice support automatic language switching? For example, if I'm reading something in English and then there's a text in Arabic in the book, can it detect that this is a different language and read through another voice?
Yeah, it can detect the actual language of the text, and we are using the Microsoft TTS service. So for English, there are about 20 different voices for English, and some languages may have less voices. We plan to integrate some other TTS service so users can have larger options. They can select the voices.
Well, great, Shane. As Karen indicated, if one has any questions or would like to make any suggestions, you've got those other means that people will submit those concerns and all of that when it comes to accessibility. And like Karen indicated, the update that you had yesterday has fixed some issues, and there's still some, though, that are still there. And I will do a little recording, like a little video recording, so I could show you where those things are, so that maybe in the next update, you could look into those, because it has really come through. And most importantly to me, the ability to use it without that paywall, because we know everybody now want to be doing a subscription. So this is out of the norm for most of the apps in this class. Most of apps in this class want some sort of a subscription. And I'm glad that you don't. And I thought it was a mistake, because I was looking to see if there was somewhere in the app that says, hey, do you want to upgrade to a pro, or you want to upgrade to whatever? And I just could not. And so I'm glad that you actually mentioned that there's no paywall. And another thing that I was happy about for me as a blind person is that ability to have the background play, because I don't want to keep my device, alive while I'm reading or I'm listening to a book, because I'm not necessarily using my eyes as a blind person. And there's absolutely no reason why I should have my phone running, the screen on and just wasting my battery. So I'd like to have that background play, and whether I'm doing something and have my book in the background reading. So I'm very thankful for that. And I appreciate the fact that you decided, hey, there are not going to be any paywalls here, because as I indicated, others do, even when they're using regular Google TTS, they want to charge you $30 a year or whatever, X amount every month. And so knowing that you're using this Microsoft Edge TTS Voices, and decided not to charge for the service of accessing that, I'm very thankful. And you're going to be our partner for sure. And anytime that there's something new that comes on with the app, we want you to come back and chat with us and all of that. But we do encourage our listeners that if you have any questions for Sheen, you could reach out to Sheen via any of those methods that he's indicated, either through email, or if you're on Discord, you could do that as well. I think probably email may be easier for a lot of people, those that do not have or are not wanting to be participating in the Discord. So at least you have that email to communicate with.
Yeah, thank you.
Sheen, thank you very much indeed for joining us and for answering all our questions. Hope to speak to you again soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Sheen. Have a great one. And in April, we have a little meeting here. If you have time, I'll let you know. You could come and join us again. We have listeners, and we open it up to listeners, and listeners come in, and there may be something that we didn't ask about, that a listener may have something to ask about. You could come and they could ask you such question, because we have other developers too that would come on. And so we're looking forward to seeing you if you're able to join us in April, and we'll let you know when that comes up. Again, thank you so much for Readest, and looking forward to the improvements, and I'm looking forward to playing it on my Windows.
Thank you. Thank you again.
It was nice meeting you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for being with us. And we will have an email exchange, I think, because there are some issues that should be discussed. Thank you.
Okay, great. So please keep sharing feedback, especially about accessibility. And Readest will keep improving because of conversations like this. And thank you, Warren, and everyone. I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you.
No problem. Sounds good.
Thank you so much, Sheen. We appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All good things must end. Thus, it's curtain drawing time, bringing us to the close of this week's episode. Coming up, though, we give you information on how to get hold of us.
Thanks very much for listening, everybody. John, how can people get in touch with us?
To contact us, simply send an email to contactus@blindandroidusers.com. If you'd prefer, you can leave a voicemail by calling +1 307 202 9797. You can join our mailing list by sending a blank email to blind Android users plus subscribe at groups.io. You can join our Facebook and Telegram groups or subscribe to our YouTube channel using the links in the podcast show notes or YouTube video description. And you can find all of this information and more at our website, blindandroidusers.com.
Well, that's it for this week, folks. Say bye-bye to the nice people.
Bye, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Keep my home fires burning.
Have a great week. Thanks for listening, as always.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Blind Android Users Podcast. Until we see you next week, don't forget to leave us your comments and suggestions via our email contact or using any of our social media sites. Have a great week.